how to get a full body workout in just 15 minutes once a week, coming up. Hi everyone, this is Ernesto from AttaBoyCowBoy, and on this channel we give you health and wealth tips to help you be more successful. Now today I'm going to share with you something called static contraction theory. I learned about this about 15 years ago. I'll give you a little background first. I started lifting weights, doing sports when I was really young, about 13. And I'm 44 now, so I've been doing it for over 30 years. I was a wrestler, I did 5 types of martial arts, I ran marathons for 10 years. I was a personal trainer, and then I worked as a sports trainer. Then I worked in helping people lose weight, and all this other kinds of stuff. So basically I've explored all different types of workout strategies over the years. And I've had people show me all sorts of cool stuff that gives you amazing results. So about 15 years ago, I was at a thrift store buying some clothes, and I came across a Tony Robbins video that said a 15-minute workout. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. I was spending like 2 hours a day, like 6 days a week at that time. So I bought the video, and it was really short. I watched the movie. In fact, you can watch it on YouTube. I found it on there earlier today. And I learned about static contraction theory. And I listened to the exercise physiologist talking, and I was fascinated because everything he talked about made sense from a medical point of view and from a rehab point of view. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try this out. So I tried it out, and I had amazing results. And I've been using it ever since. I've been using it for about 15 years now. I've had great results. And I did make a few tweaks to the theory that have worked well for me. And I'll share those strategies with you. Maybe some of those will be helpful for you. So the idea of static contraction theory is this. Let's say you're going to do some bicep curls. Normally, you get some weights and you're going to do, 3 sets of 10. And if you count the time you're actually lifting, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. You actually don't spend a lot of time actually lifting weights. You lift some weights and then you rest, and you turn and walk around for a little bit, and you check your phone, you go get some water, you go to the bathroom, you go talk to your buddy, whatever the case might be. And by the time you're all done, you've maybe been there an hour or two in the gym. But now we're going to talk about work in the unit of time. It's a basic principle in physics. So instead of doing this multiple times, 1 second, 1 second, and maybe at the end of the day I only did 30 seconds with 3 sets of 10 reps, I'm just going to pull this up. I'm going to use heavier weight, and I'm going to hold it for 30 to 60 seconds. And I'm basically going to use about 80 to 90% of my potential. So if normally you're using 10 pounds, you're going to go to as much as you can. I'm not going to my max here because I'm just using it for demonstration purposes. Actually, they don't have any big weights here. But basically, look at all this time I've been holding it. The muscle has been working the entire time. It's not doing 1 second and resting. It's working. It's contracting. So you can hold it for 30 to 60 seconds, and it's going to give you the same exercise that if I did this for 3 sets of 10 for a while. And I'm going to be using much heavier weight, so it's going to put a lot more stress in the muscle. Now let me tell you why that's important. First off, when you're using really heavy weight, we have 3 types of muscle fibers. They're called slow, medium, and fast twitch muscles. When you use something really heavy, your muscle is going to recruit all 3 of those muscle fibers. So all of them are going to be working together to pull that weight because the weight's going to be so heavy. Now the other thing that happens is in your bloodstream, we always have glucose. Glucose is like the quick energy source, and you normally carry about 30 seconds of it in your bloodstream. So if you're holding something really heavy, you're going to use up that glucose. And what happens is, if you rest, then your body slowly makes some more and it regenerates, and then you do your next set, right? But if you don't rest and you keep going, you force your body to use something called glycogen. Glycogen is a form of glucose that's stored in your fat. So by stressing your muscles out longer, you use up all the glucose and your body has no option but to start sucking that glycogen out of your muscle. So it's actually going to cause you to burn a lot more fat during your workouts. The third thing that's going to happen is your muscle grows in comparison to the load that is placed upon it. So I normally, let's say I use 40-pound weights to do curls. If all of a sudden I'm doing 80 pounds, because that's the max I could do, that's my 90%, my muscles are going to grow a lot faster. So I've seen amazing results. The only thing is that Peter Sisko, the person that invented this theory, suggests that you use it once a week. In my experience with myself and with my clients, I've never seen once a week to be effective. I recommend doing it 2 to 3 times a week. So I typically go into the gym about 2-3 times a week and I'll do 15 minutes of weights and I'm done. Other than that, I do a lot of stretching and then I'll do some cardio exercises and I'll go over my cardio program later. But for now, that's all I do. And my strength is amazing. A lot of the machines I use pretty much all the weight available. My muscles have grown in strength much faster than they ever have in the years when I used to work out for 2 or 3 hours at a time. So for a lot of people, when I just mentioned this principle to them, it's hard because they're used to doing repetitions. But I don't want you to think about repetitions. I want you to focus on the amount of work done in the unit of time. So I'm going to give you the example of a sprinter and a marathoner. A sprinter puts all their effort into it, as much as they can. And if you think of Usain Bolt or one of these other sprinters, they're all muscle. Their muscles are huge all over, arms, legs, everything. If you think of a marathon runner, their bodies are really lean and they're skinny. So those quick bursts of running creates a lot of muscle. You're basically doing the same thing with static contraction. So it's going to make your muscles grow a lot faster. So another principle I want you to look at is where to hold that weight. So you want to hold it in the range where it's most comfortable. Usually you only need a few inches. So let's say you're going to do a bench press. Rather than bringing the weight all the way down, you don't need to do that. As soon as you lift the weight off the rack and you start holding it, you're already stressing your muscles, they're already working. You don't need to do the whole movement. So you can hold it within a range of a couple of inches, and that's it. Just hold it there for 30 to 60 seconds, and that's gonna build your strength a lot faster. You don't have to move through the full range. The thing is that when you move it through the full range, that often causes your muscles to go to failure, and that's also where you have more injuries. So if you think about a bench press, when I see people bench pressing and bringing the bar down, touching their chest, you're hyperextending your shoulders. So you're going to cause a lot of problems in your shoulders. In particular, you cause something called lateral clavicular osteolysis, which is basically a joint degeneration from all that hyperextension of the joint. So that's not healthy for you, especially when you're using heavy weights. So it's best just to keep it in a small range. I'm going to demonstrate here with this pulley how I would do a static contraction workout with it. Now here I have about 60 pounds. This is not my max. This is what I would normally use, let's say for repetitions, if I'm going to do repetitions. But now I'm going to try a static contraction exercise. So I'm going to put it up to my max. I'm going to go for double. I'm going to go for 120 pounds on each side, and that is about my 90% range there of how much I can curl. So I'm going to bring it up, and there we go. I'm going to hold it, and see my muscles are working. I'm working. And everything is trembling. I'm going to do this for about 60 seconds. It's pumping all my muscles. By now, 30 seconds have passed. I've used all the glucose in my blood. Now my body is sucking the glycogen out of my fat, to feed my muscles for energy. If you notice, I'm not really moving, and I don't need to because the weight is so heavy, it's causing me to recruit all the muscle fibers. Slow and fast glycolytic muscle fibers. All of them are being used and they're being stressed. And that's it. I'm done with my biceps. And I'm really tired. So that's how the workout goes. You do one for your biceps, one for your triceps, one for your back, one for chest, one for legs. You can do like squats. I mentioned one adaptation earlier. I do a second adaptation. I learned this from one of the Mr. Olympias studying his routine. First adaptation, instead of doing this once a week, I recommend 2 to 3 times a week. The second adaptation I do is after you did your 30 to 60 seconds, stop and rest no more than 10 seconds, and then pick up the weight and do it again for another 30 to 60 seconds. By this time, you should be so exhausted because the weight is so heavy that you should barely be able to make it to 30 seconds. So ideally, your first set is going to be 30 to 60 seconds, and you should reach failure where you just can't hold anymore and the muscle just almost drops out of your hand. When that happens, that means that you have enough weight. It's going to be about 80 to 90% your max. Then you do your second set within the first 10 seconds. The reason why you want to do it within 10 seconds is because you don't want to give your body enough time to load up on glucose again. You want to continue using that glycogen from your fat stores. And it's going to really supercharge your workout, and it's going to give you a lot of extra time to do other things, like stretching. Stretching is really important. You lose about 10% of your flexibility every 10 years of age. So you want to make sure that you're stretching, keeping all your joints mobile, so that way as you age, you can prevent a lot of the aches and pains that come with having stiff joints. So if you have any questions, please comment below. I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you for listening.